Good day, everyone. So, this is officially the first video of this YouTube channel. Um, I am Praise. So the first 5 minutes of this video, I'll just be going through what this channel will be about, the goals for the channel. I'll try as much as to not linger on that, so we can just get started immediately. I am a first year. I am a second year computer science student, learning programming, everything that a computer science student does. So this channel will just be dedicated to, as I learn a certain concept or theory or whatever it may be related to computer science and so forth, I will be teaching it as well in hopes that I will learn it better myself, because I'm in no way an expert in any of the things I'll be teaching, but hopefully someone will find what I teach useful to them. So yeah, the name of the YouTube channel will be Open Brace, and today's video we will be talking about constructors, right? So I will be using IntelliJ because that is the prescribed IDE that we are using for my course. I am using Java 17, so we will be going over just a normal constructor, not the specific ones yet, in Java OPP specifically. Okay, so to start off, we will just, not spend too much time writing or typing out, too much. If that is something you guys would like, if you'd like me to actually share my notes with you all, I will be glad to do so. This is something I've just learned myself, so if I'm a bit rusty, please do not fry me in the comment section, right? Okay, so we'll be talking about constructors, right? So a constructor is a method, right? It's a method that, so a constructor is a method that we use to make objects, right? To create objects. So a method that we use to create objects, right? Later on, we will go a bit more specific into it as we go on. This is just a very simple definition of what a constructor is, right? So if you have learned of objects already, if you have an understanding of an object and a class, you will understand this at some point. It just takes practice, but I'll try my best. So to demonstrate this, I will be using a separate file for my object class and then my main, right? Another thing to note that a constructor does not have a return value. Should I spell that right? Yeah. Does not have a return value, nor void. Yeah, as we go along, if there's anything else I need to mention that's important, I will do so. Okay, so to start off this explanation for constructors, we will actually be making just a simple, very simple program, right? Let me just put my volume up. Okay, so we'll rename this file for the object to, let's make one for students, right? Students. So the normal way we would make objects would be like, so I'll first demonstrate how objects are normally made, and then I'll demonstrate where the constructor comes into play. So we'll have our public class, So public class, and now we write the name of the class, which is students, curly braces. And then we need to declare our fields for this class, right? So the first field we could declare, so since we're making it students, let's actually change this to student info. My apologies for that. Student, capital I, NFO. Right, then we need to change this over here. Just take the S away. Student info. So we need to declare our fields. Our fields are basically everything this object is capable of doing. So the field will basically consist of, this object's data, its information. So we're basically describing the data that this object does. So the first one we can say is a string, the student's name. And we can, just for demonstration purposes, we'll make this null. And we need to close it. And then we can say string student number. You know how every student at a university has a student number? In order to it's like your ID number, so your student number. And we'll make this one null. So we'll leave it like this for now. Yeah, we'll just leave it like this. Oh, we need to close this first. Right. So now we will make a void method. So we'll say void display. And when we make this, we need to add these and then curly braces. What does void do? Void will print out what we tell it to do. So we are going to ask void to print out the student information for us. So we'll say system.out.print in. If you've ever asked, okay, no, let's not go there. Right, brackets. So we'll start by saying student, we'll say name, and then we need to put that in brackets. So let's go to the side. Brackets, say colon space. Oops. And then we can say, I'm not going to use any other things that are used in Java, so just so I don't confuse anybody, because I do know how that feels. That's the primary purpose of this YouTube channel, because I know how it feels to be confused. So over here, since we said name colon, this will be printed out as is with the space. We want something to take the place of this, so we need to add. So we're gonna say plus. Oops, my apologies. It's my notifications. So we need to say plus student. Oops. Student name. Right? Plus again. And we'll put a, let's do this rather, a comma. Boom. Oh no. We want the comma inside of there. Is that one space? Yeah, that's one space. Right, guys. And now we need to add student number. And we take the exact same approach. So now, right now, I'm just showing you how objects are created normally. So we say student number. Oops, I should have put this as student. Okay, we can also just put student name here just for same sake, so we aren't too. And here we can say student ID, right? And then we need to close this. Okay, are there any issues? It's a good habit just to go through this. So student name, it will print the student's name, and then student ID, it will print the student's number. So now we can go to our main. So now we'll just do this part. I usually write it all out in order to actually learn it. So we need to say public class. So it needs, so the first one I learned gets a capital M, like that. And then we need to do again public, but this time we say public static void small v, public static void main, right? And then it's brackets string square brackets, and then it's args, which is arguments, and then it's another curly braces. So this is where we can actually begin creating an object the normal way. So the way we would go about this is that we know that our class's name is student info. We have a method here which is called void display, which when called will print out the student's info that we capture. So in order to make an object, we'll have to first call student info. Right after that, we need to give a name to this new student. So we'll just call the student 1, and then we say equal, right? So student info student 1 equal, and then we say new student caps info. That I need to put a capital I. Oops, pressing shift, not I. Right, and we do that. So what we've done here is we've made an object. But if we were just to print this object out, it would literally just print student name null, student ID null, because it's null. That's what we made it. So if we wanted to actually add our own values to these objects, we'd have to say student 1 dot student name. Okay, now let me type it out. Student name. Oops, name equal. Did I get that right? Yeah. So now, what is the student's name? Let's think of a name for the student. Let's call the student Andrew. Andrew, right? This is our student's name. Oh, we have an error here. Let's see what it says. It's a good habit to also read your errors. So student info student ID equal new. Okay, let's look here. Student info, everything seems fine. Right, so student 1 dot student name. So we've changed the name of the student essentially. If we wanted to specify the student's ID, we'd have to say student number is equal to, so it was also a string. Why did I make it a string in actual fact? So let's make this an integer, int. So we gotta remove that. So this student's number will be 501,666, like that. Oops. So now we've created the student's, we've given the student information. Student 1 has a name and has an ID number for the university. So now if we wanted, we can call our void. So in order to do that, all we do is student 1 dot display, oops, the small d, display brackets, we can't forget that part, and then we close it. And that is how we'd make an object the long way. So let's just wait, it's running, let's see. Okay, Java incompatible types, java.lang string cannot be converted into int. Oh, you see, that's my error right there. My apologies. It happens. Let us just put a 0. Right, that does not change anything. So everything should run unless I made another mistake. Perfect. So as you can see, it says student name, colon, Andrew, comma, student ID is 501,666. That's the long way of making an object. So in order to, this is where constructors come into play. It gives us the ability to initialize these objects upon creating them. So we don't have to write all this extra code over here. You see all of this? That's a lot of unnecessary code. And I'll show you now how we achieve that. So what we'll do is we'll remove this, just this part. And then we'll remove void. Right. So we'd keep everything the same here. The only difference is we wouldn't give it any values. Okay, no, my apologies for that. I just paused the recording for a second. So now we'll be looking at what we call it's a default constructor, or it's called a no argument constructor. So a no argument constructor does not take any arguments. What that basically means is that it doesn't make the work of creating an object easier, but it gives us the first skeleton of that. So in order to make this, we've declared our fields. Right after declaring our fields, this is where we create our constructor. So I'll just add constructor. So in order to make the constructor, we do this. We say public, and then we write the name of the class. So public student caps info, and we close, and then curly braces, boom. And what we do right after that is we write the names of our fields, student name and student number. So we go ahead and say student name and then this is where we initialize it. Using a no argument constructor, it leaves us with our constructors having a value that we put in here. So upon creating the constructor, we don't have custom values as of yet. We will see that once we start making parameterized constructors. So let's say the student's name is also Andrew, like that, and then student number is 523. Perfect. We just need to fix the errors we made there. And then colon. So that is literally it. Let me just bring this further up. And let me close it. Perfect. That is, so this is our constructor. And now when we come over here, we've made student info, student1 equals new student info, excuse me. And if we run this, we can see that nothing happens, right? Because we haven't asked it to do anything. We haven't told it to do anything. So now we say system dot out dot print ln actually. So same process. So now we can say student. Oops, why is it doing that? Oh, because I'm holding caps. Student name. Right, let me just fix this. Name. Hey, bro, move away. What is all that? You see how it's telling me we have no parameters? So then we can add our colon. And then let's remove this for now. Space, and then we say plus. So I am using Java 17, so things will be different. So this is how we would do it this way. This is a constructor still. Oh, we don't need this. And then we need to close it. So let's run this and see what happens. Student name, student Andrew, right? Let's print out Andrew's student number. So we'd say system dot out dot print in. Same process. We say student ID. Oops, what did I do? We say student ID colon space outside. We say plus, and then we say student1 dot student number, right? And if we print this, let's first make sure we never closed it, right? So let's see what happens once we run this. So it prints out Andrew's student number. So in short, a no argument constructor still gives us a bit of work. It doesn't give us that actual ease of access to initialize objects upon being created. That's why I just gave the definition a method that we use to create objects. In the next video, we will be looking at parameterized constructors. So that will be the end of this video. I hope you guys were able to understand. I know I was a bit all over the place, but it is my first video. I am a student learning these things as we speak, so I'm also learning with you guys. So if you do have any questions, do comment down below, or yeah, and do like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.